The movie opens in a stylish photography studio in Chicago, where a photographer takes pictures of a famous model. The photographer's name is Kendra. Kendra is a beautiful woman, with short brown hair and stunning dark green eyes. She's a successful celebrity photographer that loves to take pictures more than anything in the world. Her dream is to take pictures of important events one day, not only of models and celebrities. After Kendra finishes her photo shoot, her husband, a handsome doctor called Kevin, arrives at the studio with some bad news. He won't be able to go to an award with Kendra that evening, because he has to work. His excuse is that the hospital has a staff shortage, so he needs to cover more shifts. Though she's disappointed that Kevin won't go with her to such an important event for her career, she understands. As she's saying goodbye to Kevin, her best friend, Terry, approaches them. Terry doesn't like Kevin very much. She thinks he isn't good enough for Kendra, and that he never prioritizes her. Terry complains about him to Kendra after Kevin leaves, but Kendra loves her husband too much to agree with her. Terry suggests that she goes with Kendra to the awards, and in turn, she will go to a fundraiser from their college. Kendra doesn't want to go, afraid that she'll meet her ex-boyfriend again. Terry is insistent, and thinks Kendra is being dramatic. She hasn't seen Ben in more than 10 years, and things change. Begrudgingly, Kendra agrees to go. Later on, Kendra is back from the ceremony with her Best Picture award. She's wearing a beautiful red dress that complements her complexion. Kevin arrives home after his shift at the hospital, complaining that he's tired. Kevin is so self-absorbed that he doesn't even congratulate Kendra for winning an important award. He only complains about his shift. Kendra tries to kiss him and initiate intimacy, but Kevin brushes her off. Kendra is upset that her husband isn't interested. She's eager to have a baby, but whenever she mentions it to Kevin, he changes the subject. When she calls him out for his attitude, Kevin is immediately defensive. He isn't excited to have a baby with Kendra, and the fact that she keeps trying to push it bothers him. They get into a short argument about it, and Kendra leaves him be. Before going to bed, her sister, Sasha, calls her to talk about their father. He's struggling with a heart condition, something that worries Kendra. The following day, Kendra is at her studio analyzing the pictures she took of common people she met. The photos show how people really are, not the fake stuff displayed on magazine covers. Kendra feels a pang of longing. She wanted to depict reality through her pictures, not make photo shoots of celebrities. Sadly, pictures of celebrities pay way more than those of common people. Later on, as she gets ready for the fundraiser, Kevin arrives wearing a nice suit, carrying a bouquet. He wants to apologize for his behavior the night before, and to try for a baby again. At first, Kendra is reluctant, still hurt about his rejection. Her dream is to be a mother. She's afraid that she'll be too old to have babies, so she wants to start right away. They have a stable life and jobs. Their lives are a bit busy, but she's sure they can manage. Kevin starts kissing Kendra, and she soon folds to his seduction. They get intimate, and she goes to the fundraiser. At the fundraiser, Kendra's worst fear comes true. Her ex, a tall, handsome lawyer called Ben, sees and approaches her. As soon as her eyes fall upon him, her stomach erupts with butterflies, and her heart beats faster. Ben is Kendra's greatest love story. They dated for a long time while in college, but when Kendra moved to Chicago, she broke up with him. Ben was left heartbroken. He met another woman, Connie, and she got pregnant. Months after Kendra left him, she went back to their hometown to try and get back to him. There, she found out that he was about to be a father. Ben, still hurt about the way she left, rejected her. Years later, Kendra still has some feelings for Ben, even though she's happily married to Kevin. It's obvious by the way he looks at her that Ben still has feelings for her too. He stares at her as if she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Kendra tries to step away from him, but he follows. They start talking about their lives, learning what happened while they were separated. Ben became a public defender, and his objective is to help poor kids that got into a life of crime. It's a commendable job, and Kendra admires him for that. As they talk, Kendra finds out that Ben has been stalking her through Terry's social media. He's proud of the woman she became. He remembers it was her dream to be successful, and she fulfilled it. When talks about feelings arise, Kendra quickly pushes him away. She's still hurt about the way he rejected her, and she thinks he's married to Connie. He isn't anymore, but he never gets the chance to tell her that. Kendra storms out of the party, not even waiting for Terry or the fundraiser. The next day, Kendra meets Terry for a walk. Terry is curious about how her meeting with Ben went, but Kendra remains hesitant. She is reluctant to delve into it, afraid that revisiting those memories might intensify her emotions. She wants to focus on her life with Kevin and getting pregnant. Terry doesn't push. She knows Kendra prefers to push her feelings aside for the greater good. Eventually, she will burst. They change the conversation to talk about Terry's son. She has a 10-year-old son with a man that Kendra doesn't know. Terry never told her who the father of the child is, and she would never force her. Her job as a friend is to support Terry when she needs help. Terry complains that she wants to put her son into a private school, but she needs more money. Kendra suggests she asks the father, and she looks reluctant. Kendra reassures her that she can count on her if she needs to. She won't mind helping her pay the tuition at all. She loves her son as if he were her own. Kendra's phone rings, and it's Sasha. Suddenly, Kendra falls to her knees and starts crying. Her father passed away from heart failure. Kendra is miserable with her father's passing. She has a close relationship with her family, but recently she couldn't be there for him because of work. Besides, they reside in North Carolina, while Kendra's whole life is in Chicago. Kendra goes back to her hometown for the funeral. Ben also goes to the funeral to show his support to the family. Later on, Kevin informs Kendra that he needs to go back home for work, right during her father's funeral. Kendra tries not to feel hurt by his total disregard for her feelings. She takes a deep breath and puts on a fake smile for him. When they are saying their goodbyes, Ben enters the room. Kendra introduces him to Kevin, and her husband's immediately jealous. Ben is a good-looking man, with a good physique and a successful career. Not only that, he's Kendra's ex. Kevin starts kissing Kendra inappropriately, to show Ben who she belongs to, and then leaves. Kendra thanks Ben for going. Differently from Kevin, Ben is thinking about Kendra, and how she must be feeling. Later on, while Kendra is alone on the porch, Ben approaches her. Kendra points out that he should have brought Connie, and Ben finally admits he's separated from her. Kendra finds it strange, because she thought for sure they would be the happiest couple. But it's the opposite. Ben only got married to Connie because she was pregnant. He was brokenhearted by his breakup with Kendra, and wanted to give his kid a family. He confesses he never loved Connie, and that his heart always belonged to Kendra. With her feeling all over the place because of her father and Kevin, Kendra almost kisses Ben. Their lips are almost touching when she realizes what she's about to do. She doesn't think it's fair to Kevin, and she isn't in the right state of mind. Ben understands. She thanks him again and leaves before things get heated once more. After the funeral, Kendra and Sasha have a moment alone to grieve. Sasha's sad and tired, but also relieved. Their father had been suffering for a long time, and it's better that he is finally at rest. Kendra apologizes for not being there, though she paid for all the medical expenses. Sasha doesn't hold any hard feelings for her sister. She knows Kendra works a lot, and they could at least afford a good life for their father. Sasha mentions her daughter, a teenage girl named Sunny. Sunny's grandfather was the only father figure she had in her life, and she is very depressed. Kendra has the idea of Sunny staying with her for a while. She thinks the city life will help her grieve. Sasha thinks it's a good idea. They only need to wait for Sunny's classes to be over. A few days later, Kendra is back home. One evening, she finds out she's ovulating, and decides to go to Kevin's work to be intimate with him. She packs a bottle of wine and puts on a cute outfit, ready to seduce her husband. As Kendra arrives at their meeting spot, she is taken aback by the shock of her life. To her dismay, she witnesses Kevin kissing another woman passionately. At that moment, everything falls into place, and she realizes the reason why he had been working so much. He is cheating on her. She stands there and waits for him to notice. When he finally sees her there, his eyes widen in shock and fear. He tries explaining himself, but Kendra is not having it. She slaps him hard and goes home, angry and bitter that her beloved husband is a cheater. Instead of going home, she goes to Terry's place and stays there the night. The next day, Kevin keeps calling her. Terry thinks she should divorce Kevin once and for all. Kendra is confused. She wants to understand why he did it, so she agrees to talk to him back at home. Kevin is very apologetic and regretful. He begs for Kendra's forgiveness, but it's hard for her, especially because it happened while she was grieving for her father. Kevin's very manipulative, and soon turns the tables on Kendra. He explains that he only cheated because she was pestering him about having a baby, and the pressure was too much. Kendra blindly agrees that she put pressure on him, and gives him a second chance. She loves Kevin, and she understands that people make mistakes. She almost kissed Ben a few days back, too. For her, it's even between them, and she wants to move forward. Some time later, Sunny arrives in Chicago to stay with Kendra, as promised. Kevin prepares a welcome party for her, something that makes Kendra happy. She knows he's trying to make things better, and she appreciates the effort. The next day, Kendra takes Sunny to a record store and meets Ben. He's there with his teenage son, Miles. Kendra is surprised to see that Miles is so big. She introduces Sunny to him, and the two of them hit it off immediately. They go to another part of the store, leaving Ben and Kendra alone to talk. Ben's phone rings, and it's his ex, Connie. Kendra tries not to eavesdrop on his conversation, but she gets worried because he sounds so upset. When the call is over, she wonders if he's alright, and he explains the situation. Connie wants sole custody of Miles, and Ben is fighting her on that. Kendra feels sorry for Ben, especially when he confesses their relationship was toxic. Thinking about her own marriage, and how strained things are with Kevin, she wonders how he knew when it was time to leave. For him, it was when he could barely look at Connie's face anymore without feeling hurt. Kendra's trying to move on with her life and forget Kevin's betrayal, but she's questioning if that's the right choice. Seeing the way Ben is with Connie makes her think about her future with Kevin. Her questions are answered when she returns home and feels weird. She does a pregnancy test, and finds out that her dream came true. She's pregnant. It feels like a sign that she should stay with Kevin. Her husband arrives late at night after his shift, and quickly reassures her he was only working. Kendra finally tells him the good news and they celebrate. Kevin looks happy, even though he wasn't sure about the baby a few weeks back. The next day, Kendra receives more good news. She has been chosen to do a photo shoot for a huge magazine. It's a great opportunity for her, and she's radiant. Later on, when she comes back home, there's a bouquet in the dining room for her. Kevin arrives wearing a suit and asks Kendra to go on a romantic date with him. She's reluctant though, because she has a movie date with Sunny, Miles, and Ben. When he hears Ben's name, Kevin gets defensive and jealous. Kendra explains that she wants Sunny to have some friends in the city, and Miles is a good kid. It's not enough for Kevin. He insists she comes with him, and she agrees. When she drops Sunny off at Ben's house, he's obviously upset that she won't stay. He was looking forward to spending some time with her, to talk and get to know her better. Kendra apologizes and leaves to go to dinner with Kevin. After their dinner, she goes to pick Sunny up and Ben invites her in. As she wanders around the house, she notices there's a framed picture of them from when they were dating. It warms her heart that he still keeps it. Ben watches her looking and feels embarrassed. They go back to the living room, and Kendra notices he was working. He is the defender of a case of a kid that did something wrong. He wants to give him a chance to have a fair sentence, but the judge is known for being harsh. Kendra offers to help make a video for the boy, so he can talk about his plans for the future. Ben readily accepts, amazed by Kendra's selflessness. Kendra feels useful after a long time, knowing that her camera could help someone out. Ben's also glad, and invites her to dinner. Kendra isn't certain it's a good idea, mainly because she knows Kevin's jealous. At the same time, she isn't doing anything wrong with Ben, so Kevin can't judge. When she finishes the video a few days later, they go out to have dinner the next day, and it's great for the both of them. It's amazing how similar they are in their opinions, and how their connection didn't diminish over the years. Kendra tries not to think too much about it, knowing she's about to have a family with Kevin. Ben wonders if Kendra could help him with his other clients, and she happily agrees. Later on, she arrives home, and Kevin is there waiting for her. He doesn't look happy about her being late. When she explains that she was with Ben and had dinner with him, Kevin's angry. It gets worse when she mentions that she'll work with him again if he needs her. Kevin blows a fuse. He doesn't want Kendra to go out with Ben anymore, much less work with him. For the first time in their relationship, he's insecure. He knows his marriage is hanging by a thread, and it's all his fault. He can't lose Kendra. Taking a deep breath, he demands Kendra invite Ben to have dinner with them, so he can get to know the man who's hanging out with his wife. Kendra is doubtful. It's obvious Kevin isn't doing it out of goodness. At the same time, she doesn't want to argue with him again about the same thing, so she agrees. The next day, during dinner, Kevin is obnoxious. He treats Ben badly in front of Miles and Sunny, embarrassing Kendra with his childish behavior. Ben defends himself when he realizes Kevin's being obnoxious on purpose. Before the dinner is over, he and Miles go away. Kendra tries to apologize to Kevin, but Ben doesn't think she should apologize for a grown man's misbehavior. During dinner, Kevin also blurted out that Kendra is pregnant. Ben doesn't know how to feel about it. He still loves Kendra, and he was hopeful that she would give him another chance. Now, that chance seems far away. He leaves after asking for some time away from Kendra. It breaks her heart that he feels like that, and she's pissed at Kevin. It's all his fault. She goes back inside and starts arguing with Kevin. After drinking, Kevin's aggressive and mean. Kendra doesn't understand why he's behaving like that. She never gave him reason to doubt her fidelity. He even dares question the paternity of their baby. Their argument gets so bad that Sunny comes out of her bedroom to check on Kendra. Kevin storms out of the living room and goes to their bedroom, slamming the door shut. Kendra takes a deep breath and tries to be patient. The next day, she goes out with Terry and complains about Kevin. Terry still thinks she should break up with him and be with Ben, a much better choice. Kendra can't do that now that she's pregnant. She feels like she must raise her child with a father, even if their relationship isn't as great as it once was. On the bright side, Terry informs Kendra that her son's father will pay half of his tuition. Kendra celebrates with her, happy for her friend and godson. Back at her house, Kendra finds out that Kevin spent a lot of money on their credit card. She questions him about it, suspicious that he's still cheating on her, but he says he helped his sister to fix her car. Kendra doesn't believe him, and calls his sister to confirm that he's lying. Then she calls the credit card company to discover where he spent the money, and the company gives her the address. When she hears it, she can't believe it. It's Terry's address. Kendra quickly goes to Terry's house to question her, only to find out that Terry had a brief affair with Kevin, and she got pregnant. Kevin's the father of her child, and neither one of them ever told her. Terry starts crying desperately, begging for Kendra's forgiveness, but the betrayal cuts too deeply. Terry is her best friend, almost like a sister. Not only that, but she's the godmother of her son. It's too much, even for Kendra. She can forgive many things, but not that. She has had enough of Kevin too. She goes back home, and the first thing she does is set Kevin's car on fire, as revenge for all his lies. He swore to her that he only betrayed her once, and she believed him. She gave him a second chance, only for him to throw it in her face. Kendra is distraught and angry. She packs Kevin's bag, and when he arrives, he's confused. She informs him that she found out about his and Terry's lie, and he freaks out. He begs her to forgive him again, but this time she won't. She demands he leaves the house. While they are arguing, Kendra gets so upset that she trips and falls down the stairs. The accident is fatal for her baby, and she loses it. It's the last straw for her. The baby was everything she had, and she lost it too. Days go by, and Kevin leaves the house after apologizing again. Sunny also goes back home, leaving Kendra completely alone and miserable. She starts drinking to drown her pain. She lost her father, best friend, husband, and baby all in the span of a few weeks. She has no idea how to go on after that. During her depressive collapse, she also misses the important photo shoot. Her assistant goes after her and sees her terrible state. She calls Sasha to come and help her out. Days later, Sasha takes Kendra home with her. With the care of her sister and niece, Kendra gets slowly better. It's still painful to remember all she lost, but she's strong enough to bear it. Ben finds out that she's in town and that she lost her baby. He goes to Sasha's house to talk to her, surprising Kendra. Sasha invites him to eat pizza with them, and they have a great time. Kendra laughs and puts aside her grief for a moment. After that, as she follows Ben to his car, he invites her to a soiree at his parents' house. Kendra isn't sure it's a good idea. She's not the same woman Ben once knew. She has too many scars now, so many that she can barely see the skin underneath. He promises her they can take it easy, and she finally agrees. The next day, they go together to his parents' party. Kendra is warmly welcomed by everyone. It's good to be with family and friends, especially with Ben. He takes her mind off things, makes her laugh, and sends her heart soaring. She remembers their time together fondly. She gets so comfortable with him that she confides in him what happened in her life. Ben's shocked, especially about Terry. After the party is over, Ben takes her home, and they finally kiss. The kiss feels like going back home for them. Kendra warns him again of her baggage, but he doesn't care. If she needs someone to bear the weight, he will. They go to his house and get intimate. Kendra gives another chance to Ben, even though she's scared. They tried having a relationship, and it didn't work out before. She's afraid it will happen again, and then she will be broken. She can't lose anyone else. Ben decides to take his chance and confesses he wants to have a family with her. His confession is surprising. It warms Kendra's heart and gives her hope for a better future. Days go by, and their relationship is great. They have a lot of fun together, and Ben is always taking care of Kendra. Along with Miles, she's his priority. Unfortunately for them, all good things come to an end. Ben receives a notice that his ex agrees to share custody of Miles, but she wants him to live in North Carolina with her. Ben informs Kendra, explaining that he will have to move there to watch out for his son. Kendra understands, though she can't help but be disappointed that another relationship of hers is failing. Ben doesn't want to break up with her. He's sure that they can make things work. Kendra starts having doubts. One day, she sees Terry at a bar and reluctantly greets her with a heartfelt smile. She can't deny that she misses her best friend, especially after so many bad things happened to her. She still can't forgive her completely though. Terry's in tatters. After seeing Terry again, Kendra has an epiphany. She doesn't want to be stuck in the past. She's afraid that her relationship with Ben won't work, because it didn't in the past. Nothing is stopping her from making it work in the present. Days later, they travel to North Carolina to organize Ben's new life. They go back to the campus where it all started. It's there, watching the scenery of their first love, that Kendra confesses to Ben that she wants to stay with him forever. She won't go back to Chicago, she will stay with him in North Carolina. Nothing is holding her back, not even her job, and she wants to let go of the past once and for all. Ben cannot believe his luck, that he found the love of his life again. In the end, they take another picture on the same bench they took when they were younger, looking forward to their future together.